Alright, welcome everybody to Can We Make Impact Wrestling the best promotion in Total Extreme Wrestling 2013. I am your host, the Mayor Jason Smith. Today's episode number 48. Wow, 48 episodes. We will have Impact TV for week number 1 of July 2020. We will continue our X Division Championship Tournament. We'll have the semi-final matches, Cody Rhodes and Consequences Creed, and TJP versus Adam Cole will be our 2 semi-final matches for the X Division Championship Tournament. Also, we will talk about TNA Sacrifice 2008, which, of course, brings us to talking about the Numbers Don't Lie promo. One of the best promos of all time for the worst possible reasons. It's a bad one. But we'll start with talking about our in-game universe here as we get set to head towards Destination X, which is our next pay-per-view. In July, on week number 3, we have matches already set. Billie Kay versus Kairi Sane for the women's title. Seth Rollins versus Kenny Omega for the Impact Grand Championship. Violent Conduct, the tag team champions, Mike Elgin and Sami Callihan against the Young Bucks. We have Kofi Kingston versus Bray Wyatt. And last but not least, we have Bobby Fish, Jake Hager, and Jonathan Moxley will be taking on the Coffees and Zach Gibson. I had Sami Callihan on one side of that equation and Mark Haskins on the other side, but I forgot Sami Callihan is in the tag team Violent Conduct, and I don't want him wrestling twice on this program, so we'll figure out something else for Haskins to do in this pay-per-view. And then last but not least, another title match we have set is Kofi Kingston versus Bray Wyatt. And then we will have our Impact X Division Championship final at this pay-per-view as well. One of those 4 men that I mentioned previously will head up that. 2 of those 4 men will head up that match for the X Division Championship. So, let's talk about Sacrifice 2008. And it was a very interesting event. The main event was scheduled to be Samoa Joe, Scott Steiner, and Kurt Angle, which would lead to the Numbers Don't Lie promo. All in all, it was kind of a weak pay-per-view, I guess you could say. A lot of tag team matches. They did the Deuces Wild tag team tournament for the vacant TNA World Tag Team Championships. They did a Terror Dome match, which we'll talk about what the Terror Dome is and why they held the match. And then, of course, we will talk about our TNA World Heavyweight Championship Feast or Fired match in the main event picture. But first, I want to talk about let's move ahead a day in game here while we're doing that. And I want to show you guys Scott Steiner's Numbers Don't Lie promo. So here it is. Except I need to probably turn the volume up so you guys can hear it. And I should probably set the settings on the desktop audio. If I knew it, I know what I'm doing, I promise. Alright, why isn't it letting me change the settings on my audio here? Oh, that's probably no good. Probably because I'm already live, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing here. Whatever. Alright. Let's play this.
It's going to be a three-way for the TNA Heavyweight title and Sacrifice between you, Kurt Angle, and Samoa Joe. Now, before you get there, you have an important step tonight as you and X Division champion Petey Williams take on the unlikely duo of Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the three-way at Sacrifice, you got a 33 and a third chance of winning. But I got a 66 and two-thirds chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at Sacrifice.
Petey Williams has no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Chance of winning. If we used to go one-on-one and they add 66 and two-thirds percent, I got 141 and two-thirds chance of winning at Sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice. See, but I'm going to break it down for all you ladies. Would you rather be with me, or would you rather be with Joe?
Well, I think Joe's kind of nice. I mean, you know.
See, you're one of those girls that like romance. I'm going to talk to all my freaks out there. Would you rather come home to me, a genetic freak, to be satisfied every night, or go home to that fat-ass Samoa Joe? See, tonight, we're going to win, and I'm going to be the world champion at Sacrifice. Come on, P, let's go.
Scotty, just like you always say, Big Papa Pump has got your hookup. Well, Maple Leaf Muscle is who you need to look up. Holler if you hear that.
What the hell are they talking about? Seriously, I have no earthly idea what the hell is happening in that promo. It might be the best 2 minutes in Impact history. Seriously, I'm not even. I mean, I'm embellishing a little bit, but I'm not embellishing. That is fantastic. Oh God! And then you've got Petey Williams completely lost and corpsing the entire time. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we'll check on our in game here. We got nothing, so we'll go ahead and move forward, and we'll get to the Sacrifice pay-per-view. The 4 quarterfinal Deuces Wild Tag Team Tournament matches would go first. First up, you had Team 3D taking on James Storm and Sting, and Team 3D would advance. The next match would be Booker T and Bobby Roode versus Christian Cage and Rhino, for some stupid-ass reason. And Christian Cage and Rhino would pick up the win in that match there. So in the semifinals, you had Team 3D versus Christian Cage and Rhino. On the other side of the bracket, you had Kip James and Matt Morgan, so Billy Gunn and the Blueprint Matt Morgan taking on LAX. You can guess how that one went. LAX would get the win in that. And Awesome Kong and BG James would be in a tag team together, taking on AJ Styles and Super Eric. AJ and Eric would get the win there. So your semifinal matchups, Team 3D versus Christian Cage and Rhino, LAX versus AJ Styles and Eric Young. In those matches, of course, Team 3D and of course LAX are going to get the win in those matches because the other two teams make absolutely no sense. So they would move on, and we'll talk about the final here coming up in just a little bit. But I want to get to back into the game here. And nothing really of any consequence, so we'll move forward, and we'll talk about the Terror Dome match. Now, this match originally was scheduled to be a number 1 contenders match for the X Division Championship. When Kurt Angle was removed from the pay-per-view card the morning of, this also became a number 1 contender match where you could be plugged in to the World Heavyweight 3-way match later that night. So it not only became a number 1 contender match for the X Division title, but a very important match for somebody in the X Division to get a shot at the world title as well. You had Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Consequences Creed, Xavier Woods, Curryman, Jay Lethal, Jimmy Rave, Johnny Devine, Kaz, Shark Boy, and Sanjay Dutt. All involved in this match. Now, a Terror Dome match is basically, think Elimination Chamber without the pods, and the only way to win is to escape out a tiny little hole in the top. So the goal was for these guys to climb the cage like a spider monkey, and they have to go out in the dome shape. So you've got like I don't know, what would that be? Maybe like a 12-degree incline or something, where you have to sort of go backwards like this up the cage, and then there's a circular opening at the top. You have to climb through that, and then you become the winner. Had a potential to be incredible, and it had they might have had something there, but I don't know, it just felt like something was missing to me, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't tell you what exactly that is, but there was something there, and the Terror Dome might have worked if there was a small tweak, but don't ask me what that is because I have no idea. All right, back in game. Let's see here. Anything? Not really. Okay, so we will move on yet again, getting closer to that TV taping. And we will talk about the 10-woman TNA Knockouts Makeover Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for the Knockouts title. It's very strange to have a Knockouts Battle Royal number one contender match without having a Knockouts championship match on the card. And that was because Awesome Kong, the women's champion at the time, was taking part in the Deuces Wild tag team tournament. And so there was no women's championship match. So they had this battle royal to determine the number one contenders match. So Salinas would be the first to be eliminated. Well, I guess I should talk about the competitors first before I go and ruin the entire match. You had Angelina Love, Christy Hemme, Gail Kim, Jackie Moore, ODB, Salinas, Raka Khan, Roxy Laveau, Tracy Brooks, and Velvet Sky. All in this 10-woman Knockouts Makeover Battle Royal.net thing. So, two-stage battle royal. The first was just your standard battle royal, and then when there were two wrestlers left, it became a ladder match. And the winner of the ladder match would become the number one contender for the Women's Knockouts Championship. The loser would get their head shaved. Interesting twist on a pretty typical storyline battle royal, gimmicky kind of battle royal that TNA did. It had a unique twist. So it came down to Gail Kim, Roxy Laveau, Angelina Love, and ODB. ODB was the first to go. Angelina Love was second. Roxy Laveau would join Gail Kim as the final two that would take part in the ladder match. So Gail Kim had immunity from getting her head shaved, thanks to a TV work promo thing that they had done. So basically, if Gail Kim lost, then the person who came in third, Angelina Love, would have her head shaved. So Angelina Love and Velvet Sky interfered quite a bit during the match. Kim landed a sunset flip powerbomb on Laveau. Also, Roxy Laveau's head got split open at one point. And she was actually on the ladder with a position to win, and then there was some more interference. She got knocked off the ladder. Gail Kim grabbed the ladder, climbed up, won the contract, and then Roxy Laveau would be forced to get her head shaved. It's the long way around explaining that Gail Kim was the number 1 contender. All right, 2 days until TV. We'll go ahead and jump ahead another day since we have no news, and we will talk about the final 2 matches of Sacrifice 2008. The Deuces Wild Tag Team Tournament Finals between LAX and Team 3D. 11-minute match. Johnny Devine tried to get involved on behalf of Team 3D. Hector Guerrero, who was ringside on behalf of LAX, would be would stop him and then try to do a table spot. And Guerrero would do a coup de grace, a diving foot stomp, and put Johnny Devine through a table. The referee involved in the match, was there a spot? No, Team 3D hit the 3D and tried to pin Homicide, but Homicide wasn't the legal man, which allowed Hernandez to come in and do his finisher, the border toss, and then a splash, and then LAX would win the match via pinfall and become the new TNA World Tag Team Champions. So there you go. All right. And we'll move on to our final night before TV. And the final match, Sacrifice 2008, the World Heavyweight Championship with Samoa Joe, Scott Steiner, and Frankie Kazarian replacing Kurt Angle. Petey Williams, Rocket Khan would be at ringside. You saw them in the promo, the Numbers Don't Lie promo that we aired at the beginning of the bout. Lots of submission holds, lots of rest holds. Steiner got in on it with the Steiner recliner, and actually Scott, technically, back in the day, and even into his later part of his career, despite the whole, like, brawler, big, muscular, huge dude, was technically really, really good. Like, he had great technical work in the ring, and he was a suplex machine way back in the day, and just a all in all around really, really talented wrestler. His brother, not Rick, but his other brother, used to be a referee in the Michigan High School Athletic Association for wrestling. He was an official at a tournament I participated in, but I don't think he might have done one of my matches, but I don't think so. But yeah, that whole family is wicked talented when it comes to both amateur, shoot wrestling and, kayfabe sports entertainment, professional wrestling. They all know what the hell they're doing. Anyway, a lot of back and forth. Frankie Kazarian was very much involved in this match, despite it having to be sort of thrown together at the last minute. Joe would boot Steiner in the dome, hit the muscle buster, and pick up the pinfall victory. And I'm surprised, given that Frankie Kazarian was involved in this match, that he didn't be the one to do the favor for Joe. And I don't know if the plan all along was for Joe to beat Steiner clean, or if Kurt Angle had some hand in the direction of how that match was going to go. But at the end of the day, Joe beat Steiner clean to retain the TNA heavyweight title. Back in game, not much happening for us. Kind of a quiet week, which is good. Alexa. Not Alexa Bliss. Asuka will be starting in 1 week.
I'm not sure about that.
I think my Amazon thought I was talking to it. Alexa, I wasn't talking to you.
Sorry. I thought I heard my name.
Wouldn't that be terrible if you had a human in the house whose name was that particular name? That'd be kind of annoying. All right, we are at the On-Center War Memorial Arena in the Tri-State region. I don't know where this place is, so we're going to take a look. On-Center War Memorial Arena. It is in Syracuse, New York. All right. Cool looking building, actually. It looks really, really cool. All right. So the War Memorial Arena is a multi-purpose arena in New York. It was built from 1949 to 1951. It's on the National Register of Historic Places. The Syracuse Nationals of the NBA played there. The Syracuse Crunch ice hockey team plays there. The Syracuse Silver Knights Major Arena Soccer League team, and several American Hockey League teams. The American Hockey League, of course, is now defunct. The Syracuse Nationals beat the Fort Wayne Pistons in the 7th game at home to win the 54-55 NBA championship. The 61 All-Star game was held here, and the Frozen Four was held for 4 straight years between 67 and 71. They also shot the film Slapshot in this arena. It was also used for the Ready to Rumble film with David Arquette, I'm sorry. It was used for the WCW taping where David Arquette won the title. Yeah. So, there you go. It also hosted WWF Monday Night Raw in April of 98. It hosted the first ever WWF In Your House pay-per-view in 95. And it's been a pretty popular concert venue as well. Pretty much you name it. And that band has performed there. Okay, so now that I've gone completely off on a tangent talking about an arena in Syracuse, New York, that probably nobody cares about, we'll move on into our scenarios here. So we'll kick things off with our 2 big matchups with Cody Rhodes and Consequences Creed taking on nobody. It's a 1-on-1 matchup, you dunce cap. Alright, so we'll run that. I don't know if he's got the stamina to go 18 minutes, so we'll back that one up a little bit. I know Adam Cole and TJP do, though. And those are going to be this will be one of our main events for sure. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to put together a tag team match featuring the 4 guys who were eliminated in the last round. And we'll put Adam Page and Flip Gordon on one side. And then we'll put Will Ospreay and Ricochet on the other. We'll have these guys work the crowd. That should be a good one. Okay. Let's see. What else do we got here? So the Coffees and Gibson and all those guys are already involved in something, so we're good there. I do need to find something for Mark Haskins, though. Preferably using any of these guys who aren't already involved in something. Let's try EC3. We'll give this a shot and see how this looks. Okay, we've got 4 minutes left. And I want to do a 4-on-4 matchup that'll eat up some of our main event guys. So, on one side, we'll do Seth Rollins, Violent Conduct, and Bray Wyatt against Kenny Omega, Kofi Kingston, and the Young Bucks. There we go. Alright, 25 minutes to go. Let's see how many main eventers we need to clear out here. 2, 4, 6, 7. Let's do a Fatal 4-Way Tag Match elimination style. And we'll go with let's do Mox and Hager. We'll get the Coffees involved. Come on. Let's do Zach Gibson and Bobby Fish. That'll be an interesting combo. And we'll do Marty Scurll and actually, I'm going to save Marty for something else. So we're going to go Eli Drake and Johnny Impact. There we go. That looks alright. Okay, and then I want to have a little fun with a Fatal 4-Way here. So I'm going to put Marty, Rich Swann, Phoenix, and Penta. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so there's our 95 minutes. We're golden. Let's run it. B+ out of that Fatal 4-Way. That is a great match. And I don't think any of those guys are being used, so we're going to use it. So we've got Marty, and we've got Swan, we've got Phoenix, and we've got Penta. Great match. Cool. B- out of a tag team match between Paige and Flip and Ospreay and Ricochet, who also don't have a match, so we'll pop this in here too. So that was Page and Flip versus Osprey and Ricochet. EC3 Mark Haskins was kind of meh. A B- out of our thrown together fatal 4-way tag team elimination match. Eli Drake and Johnny Impact didn't really work out all that well. Their timing was kind of a mess. And our 8-man tag got a B rating. Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, and Violent Conduct taking it home. And a B out of Cody versus Consequences Creed. Cody wins by pinfall. So Cody advances to the finals. And TJP Adam Cole gets us a B+. Great matchup there. And TJP defeats Adam Cole by pinfall. So we will have TJP versus Cody in the finals. And that'll take place at the next pay-per-view. So all in all, a B rating increased our popularity in 11 regions. And we'll go ahead and check our TV ratings and wrap up this episode. Also, tomorrow's episode number 59, or 49 rather, we'll talk about TNA Slammiversary 2008. You would see Bobby Roode get his first main event. You would see the pay-per-view debut of Josie Robinson. She also went by Sojourner Bolt at one point. Worked a lot in Shimmer, OVW. Serena Deeb. And she makes her Impact pay-per-view debut. Serena Deeb was in CM Punk's Straight Edge Society. She was the one with her head shaved, which I had heard was punishment for something that had happened backstage. It was sort of a gimmicky thing, and then she got busted breaking kayfabe. She was supposed to be this straight edge chick and all of that, and she got fired because she was spotted out drinking a bunch. And I think those were the only two notable debuts. So we'll talk about that in depth tomorrow on tomorrow's episode. We've got some unread emails waiting. Samir Singh's contract is set to expire. Excellent show at the On Center. And we drew a 3.09. So we're still hovering around that 3.1, 3.09, 3.13 mark. Still hanging around in that low threes. So we're in good shape, and we'll keep pressing on. We're getting closer to that ever elusive national size rating, as we're at C+ in 4 regions, 5 if you count Canada, which I'm not sure if they do. But we're getting closer, so we are on our way to being in a position to challenge WWE, stealing some of those top names that they've let kind of come our way. It's cost us some money, but we're starting to see the dividends be paid in acquiring those talents to go with some of the talent we already had, and working through all of that. So that's going to do it for this episode. My name is the Mayor Jason Smith. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Be excellent to each other.